You know that feeling. You paid extra for a good seat on a long flight, you have your boarding pass ready, and you get to your row, only to find someone chilling in your spot. Well, it just happened to me. And this wasn't some simple mistake. This woman, this Karen, straight up lied to steal my seat. And I decided right then and there that the entire plane was going to know about it. This wasn't just about a seat. It was about the sheer audacity. And let me tell you, the look on her face when the flight attendant called her out was worth every penny I paid for this ticket. Let's be real, flying these days is a total grind. Travel is a marathon of long lines, overpriced snacks, and the shared misery of being crammed into a metal tube. That's exactly why, when I booked this flight a couple of months back, I decided to treat myself. It was a long, cross-country haul, 6 hours, right before a huge family event. I was already running on fumes from a crazy work week, and all I wanted was a smooth trip. So, I did what any sane, exhausted person would do. I paid extra. Not a crazy amount, but enough to make it a deliberate choice. I went on the airline's website and picked my spot, seat 14C. It was perfect, an aisle seat in an exit row. We're talking extra legroom and an easy escape route, so I wouldn't have to do that awkward shuffle over two strangers. It was my tiny slice of heaven in the sky. For weeks, that little seat confirmation was a bright spot I looked forward to. I could just picture myself settling in, popping on my noise-cancelling headphones, and checking out for 6 hours. No drama. I even double-checked the airline app the night before, and again that morning. Yep, there it was. Jonathan Miller, seat 14C. Confirmed. Locked in. The day of the flight was as chaotic as you'd expect. The traffic sucked, the security line was a mile long, and my gate was, of course, at the opposite end of the terminal. By the time I finally scanned my pass and walked down that jet bridge, I was just so ready to be done. All I had to do was find 14C, toss my bag up, and just breathe. I felt the tension in my shoulders start to ease up as I stepped on the plane, giving the flight attendants a tired smile. I was home free. Or so I thought. I shuffled down the narrow aisle, dodging backpacks and elbows, counting the rows. 10, 11. 12, I could see it up ahead. The glorious, spacious exit row. My row. But as I got closer, my stomach dropped. Someone was in my seat. It was a woman, probably in her late 50s, with that classic haircut that just screams, I'd like to file a complaint. She was already perfectly comfortable, with a neck pillow inflated, a magazine open, and her purse tucked away. She looked like she owned the place. For a second, I gave her the benefit of the doubt. It's an easy mistake to make, right? Excuse me, I said, keeping my voice friendly. I think you might be in my seat. I have 14C. She glanced up, and her expression went from 0 to annoyed in a nanosecond. She didn't even look at her own ticket. No, she said flatly. This is my seat. Okay. Not the reaction I expected. People were starting to back up behind me in the aisle. I pulled out my phone, showing her the boarding pass on the screen. Sorry, but it says right here, 14C. Maybe you're in the wrong row. She squinted at my phone like it had personally offended her. The app is wrong sometimes, she scoffed. The gate agent told me to sit here. Now you're holding up the line. And that was the moment. The point where I could have just sighed and found a flight attendant. But her confidence, the absolute, unwavering certainty in her lie, was just staggering. This wasn't a mistake, this was a power play. I get that you want to sit here, I said, my voice losing its friendly edge, but I paid extra for this seat, and this boarding pass says it's mine. Can I just see your boarding pass, please? That was, apparently, a declaration of war. Her face turned red. I don't have to show you anything, she snapped, her voice getting louder. I am in my seat. Why are you harassing me? Are you trying to steal my seat? The irony was just beautiful. She was creating a huge scene, painting me as the bad guy. It was the classic Karen playbook. Get loud, play the victim, and hope the other person gets embarrassed and backs down. Not today. I took a deep breath. I'm not harassing you, I said, lowering my voice so she had to lean in. I'm asking for the seat I paid for. Since you won't show me your pass, I'm going to get a flight attendant. I turned and caught the eye of a flight attendant already heading our way. The Karen saw her coming and, I kid you not, her eyes started welling up with phony tears. The public freakout was about to start. The flight attendant, Linda, arrived with a calm, been here, done that look on her face. Is there a problem? Before I could say a word, the Karen launched into her Oscar-worthy performance. Oh, thank goodness, she cried, pointing at me. This man just showed up and started demanding I get out of my seat. He's being so aggressive, and I feel really threatened. I just stood there, speechless. The nerve of this woman was actually impressive. She wasn't just lying, she was building a whole narrative around it. I saw a flicker of doubt in Linda's eyes. This is how they win. They cause so much chaos that it's just easier for everyone if the calm person gives in. Linda turned to me. Sir, can I see your boarding pass? Her tone was professional, but you could tell she just wanted this to be over. I held up my phone. Here you go, I said calmly. I paid for the exit row aisle 2 months ago. I think she's just mistaken. Linda nodded and turned to the Karen. Your boarding pass. The Karen rummaged through her purse and pulled out a crumpled ticket, holding it out at a weird angle. Of course, she sniffled. It says 14C. His app must be glitched or something. Linda took the paper from her. I held my breath. For one wild second, I thought, what if there was a glitch? Then Linda's expression hardened. The professional mask was gone, replaced by pure, unfiltered annoyance. She held the pass up right in front of the Karen's face. Linda said, her voice sharp and loud enough for everyone nearby to hear. This says seat 32B. B, as in Bravo. That is a middle seat. In the back of the plane. The silence was delicious. Every person in the surrounding rows was staring. The Karen's face cycled through shock, then anger, then a deep, blotchy red of pure humiliation. She was caught. Red-handed. Well, the gate agent. She sputtered, the act crumbling around her. Linda cut her off. The gate agent did not tell you to take another passenger's paid exit row seat. Please take your things and go to your assigned seat. She turned to me. Sir, I am so sorry. This is your seat. Then, back to the Karen, her voice leaving zero room for argument. Now. The humiliation in the cabin was so thick you could taste it. Just moments ago, she was the star of her own dramatic play. Now, she was just a liar who got caught in front of a captive audience. Instant karma. She just sat there, frozen, her face on fire. The man in the window seat, who had been trying to become one with the wall, let out a quiet little laugh. A woman across the aisle just shook her head with a smirk. There was zero sympathy in the room. Just the shared satisfaction of watching entitlement get shut down, hard. With a loud, huffy sigh, the Karen started gathering her things with the bitter resentment of a toddler in timeout. The neck pillow was snatched, the magazine was slammed shut. She grabbed her purse and stood up, refusing to make eye contact with anyone. Then, she began the long walk of shame. She had to squeeze past me, head down, on her epic journey toward the back of the plane, and her dreaded middle seat in row 32. As she passed, some guy a few rows back muttered, "Should have stayed in your own seat," and a few people quietly snickered. I finally slid into 14C. It felt like a throne. I stretched my legs out into all that glorious space, and let out a huge sigh of relief. As Linda did her final checks, she leaned in and said quietly, "Thanks for staying calm. You have no idea how often people try that." She gave me a little nod of solidarity. I settled in, put on my headphones, and as the plane took off, I couldn't help but glance toward the back. I could just make out her silhouette, wedged uncomfortably between two people, staring into the abyss of the seat back in front of her. Justice served, I thought, had been served. And that's the story of how a little lie got spectacularly humiliated at 35,000 feet. It really shows that you don't have to scream and yell to win. Sometimes, just standing your ground and letting the truth do the work for you is so much more satisfying. People who try to bully their way through life are counting on you to fold. Don't give them the satisfaction. Now I have to ask, what would you have done? Have you ever had to deal with an airplane Karen, or a seat stealer? Drop your story in the comments below. I read all of them. And if you enjoyed this little dose of justice, hit that like button and subscribe for more stories. Thanks for watching.